Board Member Vasquez,
Here.
Vice Chair Ruggles,
Here.
Chair Paris.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Thank you. Jason.
Hand over your heart and repeat with me. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, anything to be removed from the consent calendar?
No, sir.
Is there a motion to approve the consent calendar?
I move.
Second,
Second.
let's vote. I guess we got to do it by call the roll.
Madam Secretary, roll call vote, please.
Board Member Brower,
Aye.
Board Member Madrano, Board Member Peacock,
Aye.
Board Member Vasquez,
Aye.
Vice Chair Ruggles,
Aye.
Chair Paris.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you.
We go to the presentation. Are we up for it?
Thank you, guys. Tyson Eckerly is with GoBiz. He's going to join us today and give an update on GoBiz's progress, as well as their partnership with First Public. So I think Tyson's out there somewhere. If you could introduce yourself, Tyson, and welcome to the FPH2 board meeting. Thank you for being here.
Yeah, thanks, Jason. Can you hear me?
Yes.
And is it helpful? Can you see me, or just do I need the?
Nope. Now
Oh,
we can.
no, that's nice.
Oh,
Thank you.
hopefully I'm not like it's I feel like I'm just talking into the ether. But
We're listening carefully.
all right. Well, I can be brief here. I just wanted to just start off with appreciating the collaboration with First Public Hydrogen. It's been really helpful, right? Obviously, things have changed quite a bit over the years since we started collaborating in the context of the federal program. And the reality is, no matter how you cut it, like building new markets is hard, and it takes all of us. And so I think that First Public Hydrogen and the Joint Powers Authority structure is well positioned, to play a unique role in this market development. So just maybe wanted to set a little bit of the context. Obviously, Arches is in hibernation as we fight the federal government's decision to cancel the hubs that are located in blue states, which is, but working through all that, we have been able to close out most of the phase one costs. And I know this is in the City of Lancaster meeting, but thanks to the City of Lancaster for the loan, we were, I think, able to pay it off in full last week. So we really appreciate that. And so at least that's good news. And then, we're eager to get to a place where we can start to collaborate with the federal government again. But unfortunately, I think it's going to work its way through the courts, and that's all working pretty well. And so regardless of how that happens, we're under a new paradigm, so to speak, right? Where federal funding is no longer the base of our capital stack, but potentially an accelerant to the markets. We have to figure out how to leverage, state and local policy and money to make this work. And, we really are focused on finding new ways forward. And so for us, we've been looking, taking deep dives into, how do we leverage various market dynamics and policy to unlock demand. And so, as we're thinking through our hydrogen market development strategy, everything that we do really needs to, drive demand, drive costs out of the system by connecting market sectors so that we can build in California. And I think that, this First Public Hydrogen can really help compel that. We have a great near-term example of that. SB 1350 was signed by the governor on June 29th. It was passed with urgency, so it's law now. So that's a big deal.
That's a big deal.
Yeah, that's a very big deal. And so now renewable hydrogen put into a gas turbine can count towards the renewable portfolio standard. And we've been trying to put this all into context and see the power sector playing a really important role in driving this market forward. Utilities, they have great credit, so you can leverage their credit. if you get these public procurements like we're talking about here, can really move markets. And the ability to fuel switch within the power sector is really important. But it's kind of an interesting anecdote or just thought process about how much hydrogen we need, so like to get there. And so, if you look at our projections as a state, our low scenarios that we would need 350,000 tons of hydrogen by 2045 to displace natural gas in the power sector. That's in our low projection scenario. And the high scenario is close to 1.6 million metric tons per year. And, if you look at these projects, so like one of the projects that you can focus on is, it would be the largest scale, like what in the city of Lancaster would be the largest renewable hydrogen production facility in the Americas. And to get to that high projection, we would need 73 of those. And so we need a whole lot more. We need a lot to build. And then, by 2045, it's important to note that somebody born today still won't be able to drink in 2045. And so there's a lot of work to do. And so that kind of brings me to, our collaboration with First Public Hydrogen. And there are a lot of markets we are trying to take care of and enable, the power sector being one, because it can be leveraged to build out that massive amounts of supply that we need for all the sectors. But particularly, I'm very, excited about the partnership related to transit, right? So the transit have been moving forward, against headwinds. They have buses on order. They're ordering stations. Their budgets are, as operating cities is a very challenging thing to do. And so anything we can do to drive costs out of their system can help us, provide service and transportation service to our citizens across the state. And the more we can get the zero emission vehicle stuff going, the better off we're going to be. So a big, challenge for them, of course, is procurement of hydrogen fuel. And, First Public has been working, we've been collaborating on that RFP, and I think it's really important to get that thing right. We appreciate, working with First Public on this and the collaboration with Air Resources Board and DGS. And so from my perspective, I want to make sure that when the RFP goes out that, all the transit agencies are set up to be able to use it. So it's meeting all the federal rules, and then that the state can buy off of it. And, ideally those early volumes can help start to drive down price as we go through time, and we can start to connect the sector. So we're definitely excited about the stuff, coming ahead, and see a lot of different tools we can deploy, looking at the power sector, looking at ammonia, various industrial processes to facilitate market demand. But everything we've learned is it all comes back to demand. If we're able to get financeable, clear off-takers, in the transportation sector, data centers, we can bring new supply on, leveraging private capital. And I think that's really important role for First Public to play, to try to connect those dots and marshal the market forward. And so hopefully Jason and team, happy to go into more detail on anything. We just wanted to set some of the context and, celebrate at least a really clear market signal with SB 1350 that we can all take advantage of.
Thank you. Wow.
Tyson, can I ask a quick question?
Of course.
Because I had the same kind of understanding of SB 1350, and that is hydrogen in a gas turbine, but can't it go into a fuel cell too?
Oh yeah, it certainly can. So it already could go into a fuel cell or a linear generator. Now it can also do a gas turbine. And
Okay.
the main change
that's
there
why-
is that those are scale. It's like,
That's why it is said that way. Okay, great. Thank you.
yeah.
Been doing stuff, Jason.
Tyson has too. I thank you, Tyson, for being here. And I was talking to Tyson. I said, sometimes we get caught up in these meetings and we get closed in this room and we think it's just us doing this. But we've got Tyson, we've got CARB, we've got transit agencies, we've got a number of people out there that are fighting this battle with us. And I thought it was important for them to come share with you guys as well. Sometimes it feels like we're alone on an island, but we're not. We're actively out there engaging right now. So thank you, Tyson.
Could I ask another question? Because you did talk about the litigation, and it seems to me that there should be a very good legal case when the other hubs are proceeding, especially. And so, maybe I shouldn't ask you how optimistic you are. I guess, what about timing? How is that going to proceed, and how fast is it going to make it like to the Supreme Court, if possible?
I don't know
Time.
about the Supreme Court, but we should be like I think everything's slated for about October timeframe for like the court proceedings to happen. So right now it's, in the process of discovery. Everything coming back is very favorable. I mean, very optimistic. We have a very, very strong case.
Yeah.
The big question mark, does that, will it result in money coming back into the system? I don't know. It could just turn the cooperative agreement back on, and we'll see how that all shakes out. So it's, caught up.
But thank you, October. That's very, very nice. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah. So hopefully we'll have some more certainty, but we can't wait for that. Is the point.
Yeah, I totally agree.
Kidding, you can't see us.
Right.
I know. I'm imagining. I know what you all look like, and so you've been smiling the whole time.
We have. Yeah, we have.
No, it's very encouraging, actually, despite arches.
Yeah, and we're working to with all the state agencies, we're coordinating across them. There's a lot of interest in the agricultural sector. We import almost all of our ammonia, or if not all of it, into the Port of Stockton. So there's some interesting synergies there, and then our current administration is interested in ammonia as well. And then you look at the green shipping fuels and green corridors and ammonia and methanol, and the pieces start to come together in an exciting way. So I think, if we're able to get back into a collaborative posture with the federal government, which I think we can, certainly based on the interactions we've had with DOE, I would say, there's lots of things that we can agree on. And I think that's really where our focus is, data center deployment, ag, fertilizer, anything that helps drive down cost for normal Americans, I think is something where they're interested. So, there's room for hope.
Is there anything your office can do to speed up the approval process, especially for the data centers?
Well, I mean, a lot of times we lean heavily, or, it's the local permitting, right? So which is why, like, the cities that you guys run, we always hold up as stars of the show, because you're able to move things really quickly. But it'd be great to collaborate on that. And in fact, we're thinking about that, in terms of this hydrogen development. Can we move some approvals and stuff, like looking at the city and the air district and everything, and go from, sequential permitting to parallel permitting. Maybe some of that's at risk, but, if you're looking at building, 73 massive hydrogen production projects just for the power sector, and that's not even adding transportation, we can't afford to add months onto each schedule. So that's hopefully an encouraging non-answer. I certainly want to help. We just got to figure out how to do it, and learn from the stuff that you've done in the cities too.
Tyson, for ammonia for agriculture applications, certainly farmers aren't going to be able to pay a green premium for low carbon ammonia or low carbon fertilizer.
Right.
Are you looking at some kind of financing mechanism or developing big funding or something to offset that cost? I mean, because I just want to mention one thing. There are some deals on the voluntary side, and it's not really a state activity, but a recent deal where an ammonia producer, green ammonia producer from electrolytic hydrogen, sold the attributes to Pepsi. And so they sell the ammonia to the farmer at below the cost of gray hydrogen, and then there are companies who will buy the green attribute for sustainability goals, scope emission reductions to some extent. So anyway, it's anything you can share you're thinking about in terms of helping offset the green premium.
No, please do share that. I mean, from what we've gathered, the farmers really care about two things in the ammonia market. Like, one, is it available, and is it cost effective? Right. The green attributes don't really matter. It's availability and cost. And so if we can deliver it at a lower cost, then we're in the money, so to speak. But and the farther away from the Port of Stockton, the easier it is to compete on cost, just because of the shipping should be part of it. But it'd be great, Tony, if you can send that too on the, we're just getting into the details of all of this, and it'd be great to have those examples.
I will do that. I'll also, the Ammonia Energy Association has a methodology that they've put out recently, and it's kind of the beta phase, but I'll send that to you too. Just
That'd be great. Yeah. Yeah, it's all the like the environmental attribute type of selling, like, you know, it's pretty exciting, and especially now that, you know, time to move is now with the 45V still on the horizon.
Exactly. There's still time.
Yeah.
What's the next step that we can assist with, meaning the city of Lancaster or First Public Hydrogen, to get the parallel permitting actually up and running?
Yeah, it's a good, I mean, part of it is, you know, probably just the test case of things. So like if you're looking at the data center, you know, just it'd be great to roll up our sleeves together and just, you know, get down to the details of the Gantt charts of all the different permitting steps that are taken. I mean, we've done that for hydrogen in our permitting guidebook. With it, you know, I think that part of it's just to get around the table and you know, looking for those synergies. And I know people have done that work before, and then figuring out, okay, what levers we need to pull to make it possible. So I think, and part of it is just showing that it works, you know, so like at the city level, you know, with streamlining Sequent. Oh, there, I see you guys now.
Yay. We had a tech come in and fix it.
Yeah, great. Great.
Well, I'm going to reach out to Tyson immediately. I think we're working on something now, and I think I've briefed Tyson a little bit. But there are definitely some opportunities. A lot of it's at the local level, which you've solved already. But there's some state opportunities that we can engage with for sure.
And the governor's tried to do some CEQA streamlining, and there's some last year, like the brownfield type of stuff where you can avoid a lot of the environmental permitting if you're going into brownfield. If you're advanced manufacturing, you take advantage of that. So like we're open to all ideas, because we have a lot of stuff we need to build if we're going to meet our goals.
Thank you. Anything else?
Thanks, Tyson.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome
Thank
to
you.
stay, Tyson, or you can.
I'll stay for a little bit and then I have to jump off, but thanks for pushing all this forward.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, moving on. Oh, I have to receive the treasurer's report?
You want item 3.
Huh? All right, NB3.
Mayor, the next item on the agenda is the budget. If you recall, last budget meeting or last board meeting, we had extended the budget for the rescinding or a continuing resolution to have more input and feedback on the budget. We have done that. We have presented you with a budget that has been revised. There's a couple revisions in there that we can share with the board. Is that there has been in the last month we've had an additional agreement, which has created additional revenue to us, or that we anticipate signing within this budget year that is included in here. It's another $2 million for this year and another $1 million for the next year, but we're obviously not approving next year's budget. That is for some of our stationary power work that we've been working on. Some of the efforts we've been doing on the stationary power side. We have still anticipated the same level of participation as relates to hydrogen sales. So we're very conservative on the amount of hydrogen sales that we have included in this budget. This not only gives us a positive cash flow with the additional revenue, but it also ends up with a net positive result of $1.5 million at the end of the year. Obviously, cash flow is regularly important, so we keep track of that as relates to when we start procuring hydrogen and buying hydrogen, as well as when we start looking at some of the staffing and other necessities as we start transacting hydrogen and start actually building and developing some of the fixed assets as we talk about our stationary power demand. So with that, I'd recommend that you consider adoption of the resolution rescinding the continuing operations, and then approve continuing resolution and approve the 2026-27 budget as it's presented in your staff report.
Any questions? Discussion?
Just a little bit. It seems to me that we still have for the budget going forward, like 1.5 million for professional and technical services, and also about a $500,000, maybe 250,000 for legal services. This seems like still high for me because it's like, I don't know, we're hiring other people that we could actually hire at First Public directly maybe, or so. I was just wondering what that is all anticipated for.
Yeah, sure. We track that. So some of the increases you saw in there
Yeah.
are results of that contract that we have with a stationary power provider. That is a direct revenue to us, but then there's expenses associated with that as relates to public relations, community outreach, and a number of different things. So
Okay, so
that's
you're anticipating hiring a firm to work with
Correct.
us to do that?
Correct.
And that's what that primarily is?
in some of those professional services you see that changed. As it
Okay.
relates to legal services, we've been contracting for legal services in a number for years. I think it's more effective. And as it relates to our cash flow, when we talk about our cash flow, it's always good to be able to turn on the gas and take off the gas. When you have full-time employees, it's hard to take off the gas. So
Yeah.
we look at professional services and contract services very important as it relates to our operational flexibility.
And the amount of legal services is commensurate with the number of contracts you're gonna have to develop and things like this, you think?
Yeah, I would add the work we're doing on the, and let Allison jump in, is all new, right? This is the first thing this has been done as relates to being an aggregator of hydrogen supply, and not only on the supply side, but also transportation, operations, so it becomes a very, very complicated legal effort. We're also working with multiple counterparties on the other side. So every transit agency we work with, every partner we work with has their own corresponding legal counsel that doesn't necessarily always agree with other legal counsels, and they have different strategies. So it seems like every contract is a new contract, if I can look at it.
We've tried to do forms of contracts, and our counterparties on both sides have opinions about those things and changes and edits, and then that results in the need to marry back, right? Constantly having to marry the contracts back and forth to one another to avoid leaving us with a gap in the center. And as Jason said, these are all in many ways brand new concepts and new, yeah.
Can I ask two more questions? We're anticipating this obligation of outreach and community engagement. Does that come with it also? It comes with this extra professional services obligation, but it probably also means more work for First Public Hydrogen people too. Are we gonna hire new people to do that?
Yeah. So, well,
And that's in this budget?
I don't anticipate, I haven't prepared hiring anybody in this budget. This is the existing
Okay.
staff we have here. And we do have flexibility. This budget, when you approve it today, it's not set in stone for a year. We have the opportunity to come back to you as contracts and operations change. And if you look at the cash flow, as we receive more contracts get closed and operational, we start having cash flow. We also start having operational expenses. At that point, we'll evaluate what level of services we need, who we need, how we need them, and make those decisions and come back for you for amendments to this budget. As relates to the stationary power provider partner, there is revenue in there directly for First Public staff to do the work that needs to get done for that effort, for that joint power or that public-private partnership. There's also services that will be contracted out in that, so it's a combination of that. So that revenue does come to us for our services, as well as comes to us to be working with public relations, community outreach, and those types of things.
Okay, and then the last question I have is with regard to repayment of the loan and when that is anticipated to begin.
Correct. So the agreement, 4 years from when we accepted the loan, it's required to start being repaid.
Okay,
There is an interest charged on that, so we will.
and that's what the interest payments are reflecting right now?
Correct.
Okay,
Yes.
I saw those too.
And so so that will be repaid in 4 years. And if you look at our budget currently as it stands, if we're just at the most conservative belief that we have as staff sharing with you the budget, that at the end of this year, you'll have $1.4 million. If you wanted to choose as a board to pay that back, you could use those funds to do that. This doesn't include some visibility we have to additional hydrogen sales that we're working with right now. But as those sales ramp up, right, those margins increase. The cost decreases for that hydrogen, but the margins increase, and then we'll able to start paying some of that back. As relates to the longer term on the stationary power side, there's also anticipated revenue there that would be in excess of that repayment if everything goes as planned.
Okay, thank you.
I had a question about the list of open purchase orders, and just wondering, so some of those purchase orders have, the service end date has come, is in the past, but there's still a remaining amount, and so have those been renewed, or are those not going to be removed? I'm just sort of trying to get a sense of, is that the remaining amount column, is that accounted for in the budget, or
Barbara, you want to step in on that one?
how is that going to be handled?
Yeah, thank you for that question, Board Member Peacock. That list is as of June 30th. And for services performed in June, we don't receive those invoices until July. So we keep the purchase orders open so that they are available when the invoice comes in. And then as part of our year-end close process, we do close the purchase orders that the service termination period has ended. And we actually just met this week, staff, and went through the list to confirm if any were going to be continuing into the new year or what would be closed. But that's a normal part of our year-end process.
So just so I understand, so they can be closed even though there's a remaining amount that hasn't been paid out?
We would anticipate some of them to be paid out when we get the final invoices for last fiscal year. And yes, we will close with still remaining amounts because we didn't spend all of the not to exceed amount in the contracts. Correct.
Thank you.
And that question, to Jack's question, is when we pull back on some of the operations, we don't use as many hours for certain contractors we have. That allows us to skinny down the budget.
Is there a motion?
I'll make the motion to approve the budget.
Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Can you call the roll, please?
Board Member Brower,
Aye.
Board Member Peacock,
Aye.
Board Member Vasquez,
Aye.
Vice Chair Ruggles,
Aye.
and Chair Paris.
Aye.
Motion passes.
Thank you. And before, Jason.
Yes, the next item on your agenda is kind of unique. We have an opportunity, we might have talked to Tyson about that when he was here. There's a tax incentive called an opportunity zone that was first installed through the Trump administration. And I don't know if it's reinstituting it or what's happened since his new administration. But we've been working closely with the city of Lancaster to establish an opportunity zone in the East Side District, which one of the hydrogen projects are located. Actually, I think there's 2 hydrogen projects located in that location that allow for incentives and tax incentives. So that process this application will go to the governor. We're doing it in joint form with City of Lancaster. City of Lancaster has other census tracts they've included in there. Ours is focused on the hydrogen producing sites. So that will be going in concert with City of Lancaster to see if there's an opportunity zone. Opportunity? The state has the opportunity. The state has the opportunity to submit 25% of the statewide opportunity zones. So first, the governor has to select our opportunity zone.
Right.
And then at that point, I'm not sure if the federal government can deny them or how that works, or if they accept 25% of the census tracts. But we'll be working closely with the governor's office as well as some of our legislators to pressure them to support Lancaster and First Public to establish those opportunity zones in that area to help. And what that does is obviously tax incentives lower the cost of hydrogen, which increase the viability of hydrogen marketing. So with that, we'd recommend your approval and designation of opportunity zones as Federal Opportunity Zone 2.0 program. And we'll submit that based on your authority.
I have a quick question. Is zone for commercial or what I understand, majority opportunity zones that I know of are major for housing? Yeah, so something to find out.
I don't know the exact zoning of those, but these are properties that are far and away from the city center.
Okay. Okay, good.
No, the census tract is qualified to be in the opportunity zone.
Okay.
And the kind of opportunity is a lot different than the residential incentive. This is more like accelerated depreciation and federal tax for manufacturing or businesses.
Okay.
Check with your tax advisor first.
Okay, I'm
but-
sorry. Yeah.
No, but is what happens is
Right.
there's something in there, again, that you have a 10-year opportunity to growth. And so
Okay.
if you manage and own that property and its growth in value, when you sell it or transition it in 10 years, there is no capital gain.
Yeah, no
So
capital gain
there's a
on that.
significant, and I think there is some accelerated depreciation.
I think there's
But there's
accelerated, yeah.
significant value in the opportunity zone.
Okay. Yeah.
These boundaries were created by the city.
The city, so the boundary, we picked the boundary as it relates to the census tract where our operations are looking to be centered. The city has added 3 others in the jurisdiction that are non-hydrogen related, let me put it that way. But there's no value in both submitting, but
It's going to be one big one
they
that
have 3 and we
includes.
have 1, and we're
Okay.
coordinating with Lancaster.
Okay.
So moved.
Second.
Let's vote. Can you call the roll?
Board Member Brower,
Aye.
Board Member Peacock,
Aye.
Board Member Vasquez,
Aye.
Vice Chair Ruggles,
Aye.
Chair Paris.
Aye.
We have motion passes.
Unanimously.
NB5.
Oh, board member updates, good. So a couple updates today. One is the RFP. Tyson referenced the RFP, and I appreciate him doing that. We've been engaged with the transit working group, with CARB and with GoBiz, and we've talked about this in the green, or well, it's going to be a low carbon RFP. So that will be going out. We're having our final conversation with the transits tomorrow in the working group. We're looking at submitting that on Monday. So just a couple notes on that. One, it's great news. We're looking at about 25 tons a day that we already have kind of slated. So this isn't a, we know that there's certain volumes that we anticipate, so it's not just checking it out. So there's some real opportunity. But also there's a couple things that, as it relates to board members, once we go into this RFP process, there's a certain kind of communication that needs to be limited with potential bidders, just to be aware of that. We've structured firewalls internally to do that as well. Just note that if you do get contacted by suppliers potentially, we'll refer them to staff or refer them to the process, and then that'll be good. Once that process closes, then we're in the evaluation process. It still becomes a kind of a embargo of communicating with suppliers, specifically because at the end of the day, you guys will be the decision makers on who we select, how we select them, and things like that. So just be aware of that.
You want to make sure that you do immediately refer any suppliers back over to staff so that you don't put them in the place of inadvertently disqualifying themselves from the RFP. Okay, so.
But communications that we've had to date are not of concern.
The RFP is not out yet.
Okay, and when does the RFP come out? What's
Monday.
the exact date? It's Monday?
Yeah.
Okay, so from now on?
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right.
So does that mean we can't tell them about the RFP and direct them to staff if they have any questions?
I would certainly encourage you to provide their contact information to staff so staff can do it. So
Okay.
it's super clean and keeps you out of any issue.
Got it.
Great.
And we've got a great
If you've got a
outreach
list, send it on over.
Yeah, we've got a great outreach list already, but if you maybe just say, hey, just make sure these people are on there, that people are on there, then we'll share that with them, and that's perfectly fine. And we're going to be outreaching to suppliers, saying, hey, we got this RFP, come join us, kind of a thing. We'll be doing it on our LinkedIn's and our outreach. So I'm sharing the LinkedIn post is probably important and good and not an issue. And
Yeah, it's fine.
things like that.
Forwarding a LinkedIn post is not a communication in violation of the RFP
Right,
process.
there you go.
Okay,
But when in doubt, call Allison or I. There you go.
okay.
And you are sending the information to trade associations so they can include the link in their newsletters and so on?
We've had a number of trade associations partnering with us on it already, so which is good. One note is the Pacific Northwest has joined us, the Pacific Northwest Hub, potentially to buy off this RFP as well, which is really cool. That as it relates to their hub is still operational and funded in some way, so they're looking at seeing if they can join and replicate what we do or join what we do. But they will be engaged in the evaluation process and have been part of the RFP process already, which is kind of cool, and the trade associations as well. If you go to the website, we've got a list of partners or endorsers or know what the appropriate word is, but people that are engaged in this process.
Good work.
Yeah, it's super cool that you have Northwest involved too.
Yeah, no, it's them joining is important for all of us.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's regional significance to them joining.
I think it is also with regard to the federal engagement, which we were always partnering and collaborating with them.
Yep. And then one last one is the retreat. We're looking at scheduling the retreat at our next board meeting time. So it'll make it easy for scheduling. We'll let you know more details, but we may be canceling the board meeting and opening up a retreat and identifying the best location for that. So your calendars are already marked for the board meeting anyway. So we might mark.
Is this gonna be in Lancaster?
Well, that's the determination. It's got to be in one of our jurisdictions.
Yeah.
We are working with Clean Energy Alliance, who is the North County CCA. Tyson mentioned the CCA or the power sector. CCAs obviously are very important in the power
The
sector.
Clean
and
Power
potential-
Alliance or the Clean Energy
Clean
Alliance?
Energy Alliance,
I don't know that.
North County. Yeah, and so they're Carlsbad, Escondido, those areas. So if they join, we might do it there.
Oh, the San Diego folks,
San Diego,
yes.
North County, yeah.
Yeah.
And then enjoy,
I thought it
maybe,
was the
bring
people
in
from-
North County Transit, some of our other partners down there to engage in this as well, so. Or it may be in one of our 4 cities or 5 cities that we have now. But we'll keep you posted, but we're looking at that date as the retreat.
It's 105 today. Lancaster.
Yeah, no, I know, I know,
120
and that's why I
yesterday.
was asking. And we continue the conversations with, we continue the conversations with LA Metro?
Yes, well, you've connected us.
Yeah.
Yeah, so and just a note too, Ara's been doing a great job connecting us with some of her contacts, Metro, DWP. I'll open that up to anybody else too, where, if there's
Data
people you know
centers.
that are looking at hydrogen or doing some work, just send them our way and let's connect. We basically touched everybody, but, you never know who we're missing. Hey, Bob. Maybe Barbara, make a note that Bob has joined us.
So noted. Thank you.
So, Bob, do you have a note? I mean,
He's got a great excuse. So, yeah. I heard it.
okay, there's no action needed to be taken, right? Good. General counsel.
I do not have a specific update for open session.
Listening to closed session.
Item 7 is for open session discussions of procurement, contracting, or any other questions, if there are any from the board. We keep this item there so that if there are board questions or concerns that you want to discuss, establishing, promoting, expanding policies, or procurement and contracting questions, happy to take those now. Otherwise, we would skip item 7 and move on to closed session. Okay. The board now recessed to closed session pursuant to agenda item 8 as stated on the agenda.
Waiting.
Yeah, go ahead.
Hopefully you got it.
Back in session. Council.
Yes, in closed session, the board took up closed session agenda item number 8 and gave direction to staff and legal counsel. No reportable action. I know. Mr. Chairman, while we were in closed session with regard to the next item on the agenda of public comment, we did have an individual submit a public comment card. However, he then left. So, Mr. Crampton, we're sorry we missed you.
Let's do that at the council meeting. Okay, that's it?
We think we need to announce for public comment at this time, just in case there's anyone online. I don't, 0 attendees online. Anyone in the audience want to make a public comment? Don't see anyone who's likely to do that. So I think that board members' questions and comments, there was some questions about the retreat that
Yes.
folks wanted to have.
So wanted to make sure that we are sure that the retreat's going to actually happen on this next board meeting time. And is it going to take all day that day or anything? I need to know some details about that because I have some travel that I'm working around and I'm trying to figure out if I'm going to make it.
We'll validate for you, for everybody. So I wanted to get that as a precursor that date works. We're probably anticipating like a half day. It wouldn't be a full day.
Okay, so
kinda
it'd be
like
a half
July.
day.
But let us check schedules. We felt that was gonna be good because it's already scheduled. But if
Yeah.
we got issues, we can work with you. Ashley will reach out, pick a great day, make it happen.
Okay,
Middle.
and then the main idea is it'd probably be North County?
We'll see if they become a member. When they
Okay.
become a member. We anticipate that's happening before our next board meeting.
I would assume that.
Yeah,
I mean, we've got a lot on the table.
that's kind of what I thought it was going to be too, all day.
We'll make sure that we pick a day that everybody can be there all day.
Good. Okay. Any announcements, any reports?
As of,
Waiting for those invitations to roll in.
He's not even
Of any kind.
Of any kind. Yeah. Invitations of any kind.
All right, we're going to adjourn. The next regular meeting is scheduled for Thursday, August 20, 2026 at 2
With the
p.m.
retreat.
and that may change.
correct.
Yeah.
We're adjourned.
All right.